All right, everyone. For our second lesson, we're going to be looking at actually writing the linear equation word problems. Similar to what we did last section or on the last assignment, but instead of you interpreting an equation that's already been set up, you have to start setting them up. And the biggest thing to watch out for here is being able to get your slope. So almost every time we should start with a beginning point. So a young sumo wrestler decided that he's going on a special high protein diet to gain weight rapidly. After 11 months, he weighed 141 kilograms. He gained weight at a rate of 5.5 kilograms per month. All right, let Y represent the wrestler's weight in kilograms after X months. So what we want is we want to end up getting that. Let's see if I can do it again. Y equals MX plus B, set up like this, where we have a slope and a y-intercept. Well, looking at this problem already, I actually have the slope given to me. He gained weight at a rate of 5.5 kilograms per month. Be on the lookout for words like each, every, per. Things that are happening over and over again tell you that that's going to be the slope. So I already know that this slope is going to have 5.5. That's how much weight he was gaining every time a month goes by. After 2 months, I would multiply that by 2. After 3 months, multiply it by 3. And that's what the X is there for, right? These things are multiplied because it's how much is happening every month. So we take that amount times the number of months, and that tells us how much it goes up. But here's the tricky part, is that we don't know the starting amount, right? We only know how much he had after 11 months. So this is what's called a point slope form equation. This one right here is a slope intercept because we have the slope and the y-intercept. Beginning point is where we would graph starting out on our y-intercept and then moving from there to make our line. But what we have is just some random point. We know how much he weighs after 11 months, not how much he starts out at. So there's actually a secondary equation that I'm going to type into Desmos over here, and this might be a good thing to write down. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So this is called the point slope form. And what we do here is we actually replace the y1 and x1 with the numbers from the point. So basically what we have is after 11 months, so x would be 11, we know he weighs 140 kilograms. So y is 140. And I know it goes in that order because it tells me let y represent his weight after x months. So x is months, which is 11, and y is weight, which is 140. So that's what we're going to call x1 and y1. So x1 and y1. What that little 1 means is this is just one point on the line. If we went to 12 months, there'd be another point. If we went to 8 months, there'd be another point. So this is just one of the points on the line. That's why they have that little, it's called subscript. Like a submarine is below water. Subscript is writing that's down below. So we have our slope, 5.5, and I have an example of an x value and a y value that is on this line. So you just have to replace x1 with 11 and y1 with 140 and our slope with 5.5. So to do that, you're going to distribute the slope onto both. So I have y minus 140, just kind of showing you my work here, 5.5x, and I can do 11 times 5.5 is 60.5. So if I distributed this, I would get 60.5. I wonder if this will actually show up here. If I distribute there and there, then I get this part here. And that is a 60.5. So I just use the calculator feature here to do that distribution, and then I can cancel it off. Because I now, to get the slope-intercept form, y equals slope x plus b, I just have to get y by itself here. So to get y by itself, I'm going to add 140 over. Obviously, he can't start as a negative weight. That would be weird. So I just need to do negative 60.5 plus 140. 79.5 was his starting weight. So if I add the 140 over, I would get negative 60.5 plus that 140. So my final equation would look like this. Y equals 5.5x plus, oh no, I forgot what the number was. Negative 60.5. Sorry. 79.5. 79. That's what I get for talking too much. And again, I got that by just adding 140 and adding 140. And since this doesn't have an x, that's why I added it over here, not over here. The thing with the slope just stayed the same all the way through the problem. I'm only trying to find that beginning amount, that beginning point. So 79.5 is what I was really looking for here. Y equals, all the scribbles look like a kindergartner did this, plus 79.5. Okay. Woohoo! All right. Let's look at one more, and then you guys can do some work on your own. Get rid of that. All right. Naoya, okay, read a book cover in a single session at a rate of 55 pages per hour. Ooh, that word per makes me think slope. After 4 hours, oh, this is a he. Naoya is a he. How about that? Had 350 pages left to read. Okay, so, this is a bit tricky. So, what we want when we set this up is going to be 55x. I know that because that's the rate or the slope. But when I think about the y-intercept, I can't just put a 0 here because that would mean that they have, So the part that's tricky is that they give you this number in pages left to read, not how many pages he's already read. So in that case, I'm not starting. I want to think about the graph like this, where it starts out with some amount of pages in the book and it's going down. And the slope is how many pages he's reading every hour, how many pages he's reading every hour. So when we get to 0, that means he's finished the book. But our y-intercept that we're looking for over here isn't 0. It's how many pages are in the book is how we want to kind of set this up. So with that being said, I have my slope, and I know that after 4 hours, we are down to 350 left. So I don't know where this starting is, but I know that after, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's 4 hours, then that's 350. Yeah, that's a 350. Trust me. 350. All right, so that's what we know. We're going to use that point slope formula again with our x1 and y1 to try to figure out how many pages had to have been in the book when he started. Oh, also another thing, since it's going down, this is a negative because we're looking at a decrease in pages. The amount of pages left are going down by 55 every hour. So we have a negative 55 for our slope. We've got 4 for our x1, and we've got 350 for our y1. Why don't you go ahead and try pausing the video now and see if you can figure out how many pages there were originally in the book. All right. Hopefully you did that. Hopefully you took a minute to pause. I thought of another kind of shortcut. If you don't want to use that formula, you could just multiply 55 by 4 and add that on to 350. That would be another way of just kind of common sensing your way through this problem. If after 4 hours of reading that many pages each hour, he's down to this, we'll just add or multiply those and add it on to find your beginning amount. That's one way of going about it, but I'm going to try to use our same formula from before just to practice. So get rid of all my writing. And all right. So I have negative 55 for a slope. Kind of the same. Negative 55 for a slope. My x1 I know is 4. And my y1 was 350. All right, so again, I'm going to distribute. So I will get a y minus 350 equals negative 55x. Now I have a negative times negative, so I'm going to get a positive 220. Yep, 220. All right, so now I just need to add that y value over. So that means he's read 220 pages already, right? That was kind of the suggestion I was making here, is if you multiply those together, you find out how many he's already read plus that amount. That actually ends up being the math we do. We multiply those together to find how many he's already read plus the amount that's remaining. So if I add 350 on both sides, that's a plus sign. I don't know why I'm doing this. You get the idea. Add 350 on both sides. And you will get y equals, that's not a y equals, what are you doing? Y equals negative 55x plus 600? No, 570. Just to make sure I can do math, 350 plus 220 is 570. So that's where that 570 is coming from. Grab that eraser, get rid of this junk because it is annoying. And that's my final equation right there. Negative 55x plus 570. All right. Okay, sorry, that took some time, but go ahead and do a little bit of practice with these. Make sure you're good at this. This is a big part of the SAT and probably going to be the majority of your tests this chapter.